Team of Flooring Artists, what's happening? We are live. Type your name and where you're from in the chat so I know that you can hear me. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to get into why you're here, man, because you want to sell some art online, all right, without having to rely on galleries, algorithms, posting 24/7. You are in the right place, all right? And so just like these affluent artists right here, like Tierra sold Galactic Jellies for 2K. Jasmine got some sales right there. She say the prints that keep on giving. Jasmine also made over $15,800 in less than 20 days, man. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to detail that in this live class today. All right. There's another one, Jasmine. She made it. She said she set a goal to sell $5,000 in a week. She did over $5,500 in the first 7 days. Excuse me. Her goal was to do that in a month, and she did it in the first week. Tierra, man, one of my favorite stories. She taught her sons how to sell art. They were 2, 5, and 7. Shout out to King Art Jonte. All right. That $2,000 piece. And so if you're here and you want to sell art online, you are in the right place. All right. My man Joe Woods right there got $2,000 for this piece. All right. Miss Sahara, man, she brought her daughter in, Sign You got that cash. Miss Tasha right here. All right. What's up, Colton? Aisha Bradley, what's going on? Good to see y'all. Welcome. All right. Make sure you get your pen and pad out, man, because we're going to show you how to sell art just like these artists online in any economy, again, without relying on galleries, algorithms, or having to post 24/7. All right. And so if that's your goal, you are in the right place. Type me in the chat if you want to sell your art online, like Miss Joy right here, all up in Canada. Love when they put that Canadian cash on the table. All right. And so I want to share a little bit some of these affluent artist stories, man. Artists that were just like you watching this free class, it has completely transformed their life, man. And so if you're sick of not getting what you think your art is worth, not making the revenue, getting the collectors that you want every month, you are absolutely in the right place. And so I know as an artist myself, that sometimes galleries can box us out of opportunity and really gatekeep sales, but we've created a process to help you sell your art online, just like Jasmine did right here. So I want to share a bit of her story. She said, let me put this in perspective for you guys. For years, I gave away my art for free. I joined Affluent Artist January last year, and 1 year ago, I was still selling most of my original art for $200, and my biggest sale this time last year was $500 to a hospital. This month, if I make no more money for the next 10 days, I would have total to make $15,800. I am floored. I never thought this was possible for me. Thank you, Sharess, for giving us the tools to make this passion into a business and for investing your time into my life. All right. And so type yes in the chat if this is something that you like to accomplish. Okay. Let me come back. Want to make sure that our screen is still sharing. All right. Like it popped out a bit, but let's rock and roll. Okay. And so my goal is to help you become an affluent artist. All right. I want to help two types of artists in this presentation. If you are a new artist, you'll get a step-by-step blueprint on how to create art that sells itself on Instagram so you can become an affluent artist that collectors love to buy and tell everyone about. If you are a master among us, you'll get the affluent artist secrets on how to smoothly transition to selling your art online at higher prices, keep more of your art, and get the worldwide recognition and status you deserve from the art industry, all right? And then every affluent artist gets access to the brand new artwork app that makes it simple to sell your art and keep collectors buying over and over again. And so this new opportunity is the key to your desire to consistently sell your art online. And it's only achievable by becoming an affluent artist. And so if I help you become an affluent artist so you can make more money selling your art, well, you promise to spend a little bit of that with me and my company in the future. I type yes, and you'll spend a little bit of that with us if we help you sell some more of your art, all right? And so my name is Sharess, and like many of you, I've been an artist my entire life. So the picture in the top left, that's young Sharess right there. When I was a child, man, I used to love drawing the characters on the cereal boxes. Also like the cartoon characters, man. Used to love drawing the Ninja Turtles. And so I just always loved creating art. And so that this picture on the bottom left is a picture I drew of my son and I for his first birthday. And then I'm also a hooper. So I played basketball, Division I basketball, man. I absolutely love basketball, okay? And so when I was in college, though, I was in the College of Art and Design. But listen, I didn't have any collectors. Forget about having sales skills. But then my family went through a tragedy. So my house burned down, and I ended up losing all of my art in that house fire, okay? And so I was kind of depressed. And I ended up dropping out that next year in 2007. And so as you can imagine, coming off of losing everything, my confidence was really low. It was still hard to sell art and really break into the art industry. And so I became obsessed with mastering business online because I knew I wanted to learn how to sell my art. And I wanted to figure out a new way to do it because it was just hard to go through all of the gatekeepers. And so the first thing I knew I had to get, though, was a millionaire mentor. And so I ended up writing a letter to 19 millionaires. And Mike, he was one of the first people that responded. And so Mike, he was so impressed with me marketing to get his attention that he hired me to help him launch one of his products. And this is the back of my book. He gave me a great testimonial because we ended up making $1,800,000 in sales in just 7 days. Okay. And so shout out to my mentor, Mike, right there. And just using that wisdom, I became a #1 best-selling business author myself. And I authored the book, How to Create Lifetime Customers. And so I've actually been all around the world traveling, speaking and teaching people how to sell their products and services online. Okay. And I've helped celebrities like Cynthia Bailey launch and sell her products as well. And I've helped a lot of creators just like you make money. Now, even with all of this success consulting and helping others, I still had dreams of being a full-time artist, right? I know a lot of you are like that. You work in jobs and you still want to be a full-time artist. And so then I had this epiphany. I said, artists that have that feast of famine income, like that only means you don't have a consistent flow of collector leads and sales, okay? So I was like, man, what would happen if I applied those #1 best-selling internet marketing and sales principles to fine art? And so I had a crazy plan. I said, I'm going to host my very first art event with the goal to sell out the show. And so we did just that, man. I had a great event. This is me standing with one of the collectors right there. We had a bunch of collectors in the room, man. Everybody was having a great time. And most importantly, we were actually selling art. And so we sold a piece for $2,000 at that very first event. Type yes in the chat if you like to sell a piece for $2,000 or more at your first or next show. I just type yes in the chat for me. And so this is my friend, affluent artist, Melissa Mitchell. She was at that event. She said, flashback to this dope art investors event. All of the by Sharess, all of these pieces sold and have already doubled in value. Okay. And so while we was at this event, selling art, having a great time, I realized we had some very real problems. So first, doing it the old way, it cost me over $5,000 up front. And that left all of our art sales disorganized. Everything was crazy hard to track because artists were using tools like Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, Square, like really anything, taking cash. That left everything hard to track. But the biggest problem was we couldn't easily follow up with these collectors that had just spent hundreds and thousands of dollars with us, right? But when you use a tool like Cash App, you don't get the collector's credit card. You don't get their address. It's a lot of detail that you don't get to make it easy to follow up and make your next sales, okay? I see you said I'm an artist. All right, let's go, man. We're excited to help you. And so I couldn't find a solution. So I had to create a new way for you to have 100% unlimited access to your collector's information and a tool that makes everything easy to sell your art on and offline. And because as an affluent artist, you need one system that accepts payments up to $1 shy of $1 million, easily sell your art anywhere, in person or online, tracks your artwork, your sales, and all your collector's information in one place. Ideally, collectors can buy your art with one click, like we buy things on Amazon. We also want collectors to track their net worth in your art. And man, I wanted to bring interested collectors to you so we don't have to chase after collectors to try to find and buy our art, okay? And so back to that first art show. So the results, like I didn't reach my goal of selling 100% of the artwork, but I did sell 2/3 of the art. Most importantly to me, every artist at the show made money. And we had sales of $500, $1,500, and one artwork sold for $2,000, okay? And so we started traveling around the country, really consulting and helping artists sell more art at their shows. And so this is me and some of my friends down in Miami at Art Basel. We were helping some artists down there get sales at the live event. If you haven't been to Art Basel, highly recommend going. It's a dope experience. And so we were having all of this success selling art online at events. I was like, man, what would happen if we started selling this stuff online and really leveraging the power of internet marketing, right? About what I wrote the book on. And so here's Chris. She was one of the first artists that we started helping. And so when she came to us, she had a very small email list of only 32 collectors. And so she sent out one of our emails and she ended up making 13 art sales from that small list with one email. Type yes in the chat if you'd like to send one email. and get 13 or more sales from your current list of collectors. All right, just type yes in the chat if you'd like to do that. All right, we're going to show you how to do that in this presentation. All right, so Santana, she also got a sale, a $360 commission right there. My guy Dwayne says sold, another piece of art gone like the wind. All right, so that's another one like DJ Khaled. And so artists are selling, man. And so if you struggle doing this, listen, it's not your fault. I'm an artist as well. I went to art school. I went to the College of Art and Design. And while you have some great teachers that will help you improve your skill, man, they don't teach you how to sell your art. They don't teach you how to get collectors. And they don't teach you how to really market yourself and build like a lifelong art business, okay? And so it's not your fault if you struggle to do this. And I knew, though, I wanted to also help artists get more collectors outside of their local market. And we really wanted to eventually expand globally, right? And so, but the solution was hard and expensive to create. And so I've ended up blowing over $30,000 of my own money and a year hiring 2 dev teams to create artwork, and they never did finish the app, right? And so I invested every penny to my name. So I really thought about giving up. But I knew going back to the old way wouldn't really work for me. So I found a 3rd dev team and I tried one more time, all right? So listen, y'all, Affluent Artists, the new artwork app and the automated collector system I created, it started working so well that many artists were selling art within the first 7 days. And so like here's Kira right here. She was one of the youngest artists that joined the program, and she has the fastest sale too. So she sold a piece in only 19 hours after she took the sales program inside of the Affluent Artist. I type yes in the chat if you like to sell some art in the first 24 hours. Here's Z, Affluent Artist Z. He said, hello, hey team, I haven't had a chance to report on my record-breaking success this past week. Man, he ended up collecting $1,829 because he sold 7 prints and he got deposits for 8 commissions. Type yes in the chat if that's something that you like to accomplish, okay? And then one of my favorite stories is Affluent Artist Jen. She's a single mom of 4 kids, and she sold a piece in a little over 24 hours. You see, she said, it took a little longer than 24 hours, but I have my first sale. It's amazing how much money I left on the table by not following up, all right? And so if you're here and you got previous collectors, we're going to show you how to get those collectors to start buying again so you can make some sales quickly, okay? And then Jen, man, one thing I love about her, she kept working, all right? And so her success started compounding. And she got invited to Miami Art Basel here, where she sold this piece Breakthrough 2 for $5,840 to these collectors. All right, type yes in the chat if you like to sell art in Miami Art Basel. All right, and then again, her success kept compounding. She got invited to Sotheby's to attend the Art Business Institute of Art all the way over in London at the Sotheby's and Christie's headquarters, man. She's doing some amazing things. She's in the program, in the community, so you all will be able to meet her as well. And so this is the truth, artists. I learned a very, very important truth. After creating artwork and helping all kinds of artists around the world transform into affluent artists, I realized we no longer had to wait for galleries to accept us or wait on word of mouth to sell art or already have a big following on social media, okay? That old way of being a starving artist was dead. And so if you're here and you want to sell art full time, this is your golden ticket to become a full-time successful artist, okay? Now, in order to do this, I need something from you. And it's one simple word, and that's belief, all right? I will give you the solutions to become a full-time affluent artist, but you have to believe that you can do it, and you got to put it into action, all right? Because nothing hurts me more than giving you the game, then seeing you weeks, months, or years later clinging to the same starving artist problems. And so if you want to be like Bresha Jones, type yes in the chat. If you like to start setting sales goals and not just falling short or barely hitting them, but if you want to start surpassing your sales goals, all right? So Bresha said for the first quarter of this year, I set a goal to make $12,000. As of today, I'm super happy to have hit 13K instead. Keep going, motivation, affluent artists. All right, we got a community of artists that's selling, and they would love to help you sell, okay? And so because of all the success we were having, some senators from the country of Barbados contacted me, and they actually flew me into the country to help their artists sell their art to a global marketplace of collectors. And so a few years back when the pandemic was around us, people stopped traveling, tourism dried up, and so they needed a new way to sell their art and get access to the market, okay? And so they brought us in because they heard about all of the artists that we were helping sell art. And then also we got invited by BlackRock to speak on art investing, okay? And so they are the world's largest asset manager, and they got over $10 trillion in assets. And so type yes in the chat if you like to be connected with collectors that value your art and they look at it as an investment. I just type yes in the chat if you want to get connected, because this is the type of network that we're involved in, okay? And so after over 20 years in business and helping artists sell worldwide, type yes in the chat if it's your turn to get new collectors and sell your art online. I just type yes in the chat if it is your turn, okay? Because once you discover these 3 secrets, you'll have the keys to get new collectors online so you can accomplish your dream vision for your art. All right. And so, man, I'm about to show you these secrets, man. Abrisha, she got a $5,008 sale from a new collector. Type yes in the chat if you want to start selling art for over $5,000 like Brisha Jones. And it's funny, Brisha, man, she'll sell a piece for $5,008, right? She don't sell it for $5,000. She always put like these odd numbers on the end, man, but it all add up, and I absolutely love it. All right. And so these are the 3 secrets to selling your art online. Secret number 1, how to make your artwork speak for itself and sell for $2,000 or more on Instagram, okay? And so I told y'all I went to Art Basel, and when I was down there, man, I was talking to all of these so-called industry experts, and everybody was really trying to talk me out of getting into the art game, right? They were like, well, Sherez, you dropped out of college. No one really knows your name. You know, it's going to be difficult for you to sell any art, let alone art for more than, you know, a few hundred, maybe $1,000 or so bucks. And so type yes in the chat if that sounds familiar to you. If you've ever had people try to discourage you from achieving your art dreams and doing what you want to do with your art career, just type yes in the chat if that sounds familiar, okay? Now, I believe in your creative dreams because I'm on the other side of this now. I've seen the other side, and I knew better then, okay? And I knew because I knew this one secret, and that is success leaves clues, okay? If there are other artists are selling art for thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars, I know that we can do it too, okay? And so let's play a quick, fun little game called Could You Do It Better, all right? There are no right or wrong answers. Just type yes or no if you think you could do better, all right? If you know what this is, don't spoil it for me. Just type yes or no. I can see you in the chat if you think you can do this better, okay? This piece is titled Van Gogh, Portrait of Dr. Gachet, okay? Now, why is this piece famous? It is the story of Fluent Artist, all right? And the story has to touch your collector's emotions, okay? And so I know many of you have been taught to price your art based on time or your size, okay? But if you want to sell your art for higher prices, we don't use either one of those methods. And when you really think about it, it makes sense, right? If you price your art based on your time, we know as artists, the more time you spend on your craft, the better you get, the faster you produce work. And so it don't really make sense to charge less because you get more efficient at it creating, right? And then same thing with size. We know there are pieces, wall art that hang inside people's homes that are more valuable than murals on the side of buildings, right? So it's not really about time or size. It's really all about creating your very own art story, okay? So that's ART story. Make sure you write that down. This is an acronym. We're going to break this down so you can start telling stories that help you raise your prices and ideally set some of your high prices, okay? And so I discovered this secret by listening to my friend Melissa Mitchell, right? So she was at our first live art event, and she's a very professional artist, man. I love the way she presents her art. You can see how she has her art on the easels back there with her postcard, and she also creates wearable art. So she made those head wraps as well. And when she was talking about her art and why she created, man, it was the stories that was really compelling to everyone inside of the event. And this is how we actually sold that piece for $2,000 or more. I type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first and next piece for $2,000 or more, okay? And so the collector who bought, like, he didn't have a clue who Melissa was. Melissa got a really dope brand, man. She has done business with Forbes. She's been to all different type of conferences and festivals. She's done paintings around the city, but he didn't know anything about any of that. And so I was like, you know, you didn't know anything about her. Why did you invest? And he said, Sherez, I think the art is great, but it was the story that really got me, okay, and made me want to buy it. And so one of the biggest problems I see with artists are you posting your art online, right? You might be posting frequently, and you may get a little engagement or you may get no engagement like this, but most of the times you definitely aren't getting any sales, right? And so if you want to start selling art online, again, write this down. Literally just add your art story, okay? Add your art story. If you're already posting your art on social, add your art story. We're about to break this down how you can do this, okay? Because Jasmine, she used her art story. She said, I posted this piece that I'm still working on last night, and I sold a pre-order print 9 a.m. this morning. Gratitude. Art story and organic conversations building relationships really work. All right. So again, don't miss this. She pre-sold a print before the original was completed. Okay. And she did this in the first 7 days of her joining the program. All right. So if you want to start selling art now, add your art story to your post. Okay. And so type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first and next piece for $1,000 like Miss Raquel Miller here did. Okay. Just type yes in the chat. And then type yes in the chat if you want to sell your next piece for $6,000 or more. All right. Or your first piece for $6,000 or more, like Brisha Jones. All right. And she said, I'm really still speechless because this is significant for a lot of reasons. One, this is the biggest and highest art piece I've ever sold. So this is a 60 by 48. It was the largest, and it was also the highest price that she had ever sold, $6,209. Okay. I told you, there she go with them little odd numbers at the end. And so I want to read a little bit about what the collector said about what inspired them to buy this piece, okay? And so the collector said, my husband and I had a hard week and an already pretty messed up year. I know we're not special in any regards. Everything seems hard right now for everyone. When my husband and I saw your painting, we first both said, wow, we love that. And then we talked about how it made us feel. Hope, moving out of our comfort zone, leaving a bad year and entering a new place, fearlessness. When we read your thoughts on it as well, it just seemed like we needed it in our home. Thank you for painting this beautiful piece. It will be the conversation piece of the many meals we share with friends as we embrace a new era in the world, one of expanding fearlessness. All right. Type yes in the chat if you see the power of the story Brisha created for this abstract piece, Fearless Expanded, and how it connected directly with what the collectors were going through. Okay. Just type yes in the chat if you see the impact the art story had on Brisha being able to sell this piece for over $6,000, okay? And so if you want to get the art story framework, make sure you take some notes. I'm about to break down to you how you can do this, okay? And then if you aren't the best storyteller, you can also use ChatGPT AI to help you create the story and knock out about 80% of the story for you, okay? So A equals the art star. Who's the art star in your art story? Every story has to have a star to the story, okay? And again, this works for abstract as well. R equals the role. What's the art star's role in your art story? All right, what are they trying to accomplish? What are they doing? Where are they going? Like, what's their role in the story? And then T equals twist, the fluent artist. All right, what's the emotional twist in your art story, okay? And so if you like to watch movies, you know they do a great job of having you on the edge of your seat, just wondering what's going to happen next. And you can use that same concept in your visual art storytelling, okay? And so let's go back to this Van Gogh piece, Portrait of Dr. Gachet, and we're going to show you how they use the art story framework to sell this for a mind-blowing price at auction, okay? And so the art star is Dr. Gachet, all right? That's who this portrait is of. What's his role? He's Van Gogh's doctor, all right? That's simple enough. But then what's the twist of fluent artist? The twist is the doctor may have killed Van Gogh, all right? And so people were really wondering, did Van Gogh paint his last portrait of his killer, right? And this story, you know, people are nosy, man. They be all in your business. The story became so sensationalized and so talked about that it actually ended up selling for a record-breaking $82.5 million at Christie's, okay? All right, so listen, I want to have a little fun in the chat real quick. I know some artists are here. You just getting started. You may not have sold anything. Some of you might be here and you may have sold for $100, or you want to sell for $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. Some of you want to sell for $100,000 or more, all right? But if you want to make millions with your art like me, man, put $82.5M in the chat for me, okay? You can put some money bag emoji in the chat, and you put the emoji with the smiley face tongue, the smiley money tongue. Just let me know in the chat if you want to make millions with your art like me, all right? Because I know if other people can do it, we can as well, all right? And so becoming an affluent artist and creating your art story allows your art to truly sell itself for higher prices. Type yes in the chat if you can see how your art story helps you sell more art. All right. Again, this is something that you can do right now. Take this from this class, start to apply it to your post that you posted on social media today, and you can start selling art even before your originals are completed. All right. You can pre-sale art, make the money first, and then use that cash to buy the supplies or whatever else that you need and take your profit. Okay. All right. Type yes in the chat if you can see how your art story helps you sell more art. All right. This works for you if you are a painter, sculptor, acrylic pours, jewelry, photography, mixed media, digital art, drawing, ceramics, collage, furniture, clothes, murals, metalworks, wearable art. It literally works for all affluent artists at all prices, okay? And so again, affluent artist Melissa, using the power of her art story, Melissa sold 100% of her available artwork at our very first event, okay? She was literally able to do that by using the power of her story, all right? So you can apply this right now to start selling art. And so listen, we just knocked off the first secret to selling art online, man. Let's get into secret number 2, how to sell art on autopilot and get collectors to buy with one click on one easy app. Now, I got to tell y'all this quick story because this piece represents a turning point in my career as an artist, a collector, and even an app founder, right? Because I ran into one of my old classmates and he invited me down to his art show. And so I'm an artist, but I'm also a collector. I love investing into local artists, all right? And so when I went to his show, I saw this beautiful piece, man, and I fell in love with it. Like, I love the colors, I love the hair, I love the profile, the earrings, the expression. I thought it was really fly. And so after I saw it, I stepped to my classmate and I was like, yo, man, I want to buy this piece. And I'm practically putting my business credit card in his chest, y'all. And what the words that came out of his mouth next, like my mouth hit the floor. I couldn't believe it. He said, Sharess, I can't take your payment because people usually cash at me. Now that blew my mind because he turned down my money. Okay. And so I was like, man, it really got me thinking about how many artists are missing sales because they can't accept certain payments, right? And I was like, man, this is the old, slow, hard, and expensive way to sell art, all right? And so in business, the first rule of business, everybody, is get paid. Everybody put gets paid in the chat. Rule number 1 is get paid. You got to be able to get your money, all right? So we got to raise up your level to make sure that you can actually get paid and take transactions in all forms of transactions, okay? Now, if you can't take payments in 2026, we got to step your game up, all right? It is imperative that you present yourself as a professional artist and you be able to take payments, okay? If you're still using tools like Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, listen, this is good to get paid and get in the game, but at certain price points, some collectors don't want to send you a $5,000 or $10,000 Cash App for a piece. Why? They don't get a receipt. If you don't deliver the art, they can't get a refund, right? They can't get their money back. It's not like using a credit card and you can call it in if something happens. And so after a while, man, these tools, while they're good to get in the game and get paid, they will limit your growth because some collectors don't want to do business like that, okay? And then social selling. And so put guilty in the chat if you've ever dropped a photo of your art and said something like email or DM me for price, all right? And so I know a lot of artists are guilty of this. I see it all the time. So don't be ashamed. We all family here, okay? And then taking orders on paper. Listen, if you're still doing that in 2026, I'm not going to get you to telling yourself, but you got to step your game up, okay? And then applying and paying for shows. And so if you are doing this and you're making money, please continue doing it, okay? If it's working for you, continue to get paid and make as much money as possible. Now, in the event you're doing this and it's not making you any money, listen, I know what it's like to pack up your renter van first or a truck, pack it all up with art, and then you don't sell anything, you got to take it back. A lot of artists don't like doing that, all right? And then also, man, whether you got a website, you putting your art on marketplaces, you know you either getting low or no sales, right? You know, people are coming, maybe you can see some clicks or some data, but people are not buying and you don't really know why. And so we created artwork to help you solve all of these problems, make it simple and easy for you to sell your art to collectors globally, and collectors can buy and invest in your art with one click, just like they buy on Amazon, okay? And so Tierra was one of the artists. She loaded Angels Among Strangers on the app. And she said a couple of days ago and about 30 minutes ago, I got a notification that one of my pieces sold. Still in shock a bit at how quick the sale happened, but great way to end the night. Seriously, thank you, Sharess, for perfecting the app. It definitely is a game changer for us as artists, okay? And so this is a demo of artwork. We're going to show you our demo account. All right, we didn't want to have any sensitive collector data in it. We're going to show you how easy it is to load your art, manage it as an artist, track all of your sales and your collector information in one place. And then we're going to show you how easy it is for collectors to buy and invest into your art with one click, all right? And so let me make sure that you can see. Why this screen stopped sharing a little bit, but we're gonna get it right. Let's keep rolling. All right.
Hey, my name is Sherez May, and I want to give you a quick demo of the Artwork app. So the Artwork app does two very simple things. All right. If you are an artist, it allows you to sell your art, get collectors all over the world, and manage all of the most important key metrics in your business. And if you are a collector, it makes it simple for you to buy art with the click of a button and track the value of your art collection. All right. And so I'm going to show you the artist side of the dashboard first, then I'll pause and take you to the collector side. So when you're logged in as an artist and you're on your sales dashboard, you'll see your gross revenue, how many pieces you sold, what's the average price. All right. And this sales graph will show you your sales over any amount of time. Right here, you can set a sales goal. If you say you set it for $100,000, if you made some sales today, that number will be in blue at the top, and this dial will show you how much you've made. We haven't made any sales today. This is our test account. And if you hover over it, you can see how many sales you made today. And it's really simple to add a new goal as well. As you start making sales, you'll see your top sellers right here. So you see it by name, how many pieces you sold in case you have prints or multiples, and you'll see how much revenue you made from each piece. Right here under your new orders tab, you'll see your latest orders. And so you stay on top of what needs to be shipped out. Down here at the bottom, you'll see your top collectors. So you'll see them by name, how many pieces they own in their collection, and how much money they've invested with you in your art business. All right. And then once you go to your artwork tab, this is where you'll see all of the art that you have listed on the site, ready for sale, and also in the marketplace for collectors to buy with one click. So let's say you want to add art. It's very simple. You click add artwork. You just have to fill out these fields right here. And once you click save, it'll save it. I'm just going to close that. If you want to email it to a collector, you can click share offer, enter your collector's email, send the offer. Email is already pre-written. They can click directly to the link and buy your art. If you like to copy a link, you can copy it as normal and send it via text message or share it on social media. And also, if you want to delete your product, it's very simple and easy to delete. As collectors begin buying art from you, you'll see collectors in your dashboard. So you see all of the information right here, so you can contact with them and follow up with them and make future sales. If you click on that dashboard, you'll see a list of all of the art they purchased from you here. As your orders start coming through, you'll see your order and payment history right here. So you see if they were successful or failed transactions, all right, who bought it, the artwork, the purchase amount, and the date. And then as your money is being in transit to your bank account and deposited, you will also see your payouts here, all right? And so when you want to begin buying as a collector, all you have to do is click switch to collector, and it'll take you to the collection side of the marketplace, all right? And again, this is our test marketplace right here, but I'm going to pause for a moment to show you how simple it is to buy as a collector. So now I'm logged into the app as our test collector. And so you see when art is sold out, it'll be sold out in the marketplace, all right? And you can just scroll through the marketplace to check out all of the art that's available on the dashboard, all right? And so let's say if you want to buy something, it's very simple. You can click buy now. And if we have your card on file, you can choose which card you want to use. If you need to add a new one, you can do that. But let's say we want to select this card. We click confirm order. And it's that simple, all right? It's purchased. And so now if you want to go check your collection, you can click collection, and it'll take you to your collection. You see we just purchased this one right here, all right? So you can see all of your active collection. And as you are buying from artists, you can also see the artists that you're purchasing artwork from, all right? So I'm going to go back to the marketplace real quick. And let's say if you want to add it to your cart, you can add it to your cart. So you want to get a couple in there. And you can easily check your shopping cart and go to the checkout page and buy all of the pieces at the same time. So it's a very simple tool for artists to sell their art and also for collectors to buy and track the value of their collection as well. All right. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. Talk to you soon.
All right, type yes in the chat if you love artwork, if you like how simple and easy it is to use it, all right? And so I want to answer a few FAQs. So first, artists, you can set your own price. We like to write our art stories in the description. All right. So collectors can see it when they go to the product page. Collectors can also buy multiple pieces just by adding it to their cart. We also like to add the shipping fee to our art price, right? So for example, to keep the math simple, let's say you're selling a piece for $1,000 and the shipping is $100. We list it at $1,100. Artists, you ship the piece directly to the collector if it's a physical piece, and then sales deposit into your account in 24 to 48 hours, okay? And artwork gets a small 10% commission on every sale. And so I know we have a lot of different artists here, new artists, beginning artists, advanced artists, emerging artists. Like we have all kind of artists, established artists. So I like to show all different kind of price points, okay? So one, Jen, she sold Purpose on artwork right there, man. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Tierra sold Bright Future. I absolutely love these pastel colors. And then Christina sold Veil of Night. And man, that sky is really, really dope right there. And then type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first piece on artwork, like Miss Magdalena here. She said, I'm very happy. I sold my first piece in artwork. Many thanks to my new collector. This piece goes direct to Atlanta. All right. And so now I've shown you how using the artwork app allows you to easily sell more art online and keep all of your prices, collector, and business information in one place. Type yes in the chat if you can see how this saves you time, money, and makes it simple. All right, just type yes in the chat. If you can see that, I see the yes coming through. Okay. All right, man, let's get into it. We're about to get into secret number 3 of the 3 secrets of selling art online. Now, listen, if you haven't taken a note yet, please get your pen and your pad out because we're going to show you how to find and attract the collectors spending millions with Sotheby's using Instagram and AI. Okay, so we know Sotheby's is one of the biggest auction houses in the world, and we can target their collectors. We're going to show you exactly how to do that. Okay, and so after our first wave of affluent artist success, I knew I wanted to help more artists get high income collectors online with AI and online ads. And so I've seen artists struggling to make sales with their posts on social media and art groups because we know likes do not equal money. All right, has that happened to you? Have you made a post online, got some likes and a bunch of comments and love for your art, but didn't make any money, right? If that's happened to you, you know likes don't equal money in the bank. And while I love friends and family sales, listen, Tierra sold a $2,000 piece to a friend, this Galactic Jellies, beautiful piece. Mr. Emmanuel got a $500 sale for this portrait to a sister at his local church, right? I love friends and family sales, but sometimes they can run out, right? A lot of people network is only so big. And so sometimes we need some global exposure. All right? Everybody put global in the chat. If you want to get out of your current city or state and you want to go to the United States and beyond, just put global in the chat for me, all right? Now, because of my experience buying ads on social media, I knew there was only one place I needed to go to get ready to buy collectors, and that's Instagram. All right? Everybody and their mama is on Instagram, okay? And people selling a lot of art on Instagram. And so Christy, man, she was new to all of this stuff, man. Affluent artist Christy. She said, okay, I'm about to cry right now. On my own way of selling, I would have gotten $200 for this piece. It would have taken me a while to even get that. So I followed the steps of this course. I made an ad. I spent only $7, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and sold my piece for $700. And it took me a few hours to sell. Now I want to pause for a minute here. Type cents in the chat, CENTS, if it makes sense for you to invest $7 and sell a piece for $700 or more. All right, type cents in the chat. And I want you to input whatever your price point is, okay? She spent $7.53 and she sold a piece for $700. That was a big deal for her because before that, she was selling it for $200. So she increased her price by $500. But just put in your price point and would you invest a little bit of cash on ads to get a sale? Just type cents in the chat if that makes sense to you, okay? And so she was a newbie to advertising online, and she ended up making $2,350 in her first 3 weeks. This was powerful for her, life-changing. Again, artists, always remember that success leaves clues. And so Forbes, they said with Sotheby's $363.2 million sale, the art market passes the first major test of the pandemic, okay? And then Business Insider said for now, the art world has gone digital. And for some, that's for me and you and all the other affluent artists, that's a good thing. Artsy, which is an online art marketplace, said they saw a 92% increase in e-commerce sales in April. Okay. And so type yes in the chat if it makes sense to you to start targeting these companies. Okay. Because that makes sense to me. And so when you want to start advertising on Meta, Facebook, Instagram, you might hear me say either or. And you come to this place right here where you can start to target the audience. And so in that first red box at the top left, it says the United States. Now, wherever you are in the world, I want you to start in your country, okay? And if you hear my voice, that means you should have Facebook and Instagram in your country, all right? Now, you can go global, but also you got to account for the shipping. And so make sure you figure that out first, okay? But then in the bottom red box, that says Sotheby's, all right? And so we saw Sotheby's had the Forbes article that said they had a $363.2 million sale. So we know art is still being sold online, all right? And so if it makes sense to you to start targeting those collectors that's spending millions at Sotheby's, all we got to do is click this green create ad button in the top right corner, okay? And so that's going to take us to a place called detailed targeting, all right? Everybody type the word financial in the chat, okay? Type the word financial in the chat. When we type the word financial in the detailed targeting section, you see the household income pops up. We can start targeting the collectors that's spending millions at Sotheby's, but we can get as specific as targeting the collectors that make the top 5% of household income. We can target the collectors that make the top 10% of household income, and we can target the collectors that make the top 10 to 50% of household income, all right? And so we're putting our art in front of collectors that are already spending millions, and we're making sure we're targeting the collectors that make the most money, all right? If you've never seen this before, this is new wisdom and information to you, man, put wow in the chat. You can put the mind-blown emoji. Like, let me know how you feeling in the chat if this is your first time being exposed to the information on how you can target high-income collectors, okay? I'm going to give you a couple more examples, all right, just to really bring this home. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many different things that we can do to target high-end collectors, all right? So the next one, let's do Art Basel. We talked about Art Basel. Art Basel is a massive, massive art show, one of the biggest in the world. They do one of them in Miami every year in December. And so, you know, if you go on to Art Basel, man, you got to spend money on flights, hotels, food, convention center tickets. When you get the tickets, you got to go buy the art, right? It's a big investment to go to Art Basel. And so it makes sense for me to target those collectors that's spending all that money at Art Basel, all right? And so if we want to target the collectors that like the Art Basel brand and they're spending all that money, all we got to do is go to the detailed targeting section, type the word financial in the chat, and it's going to show us how we could target the top 5% of income earners that's spending money at Art Basel, top 10% of income earners, and the top 10 to 50% of income earners that's spending that money at Art Basel, all right? Man, if this is blowing your mind, put mind blown in the chat. Let me know, all right? And I'm going to give y'all one more example, okay? So Artsy. So we saw the Business Insider article that said Artsy had a 60% increase in e-commerce sales, all right? Type yes in the chat if it makes sense to you to target those collectors that's starting to spend all of their money online at Artsy. Type yes in the chat if that makes sense, because that makes sense to me, all right? And so if we want to target the Artsy brand, and we go to detailed targeting, we type in that word financial, we can target the top 5% of income earners, the top 10% of income earners, and the top 10 to 50% of the top household income earners that like Artsy and they're spending all that money, okay? And so when we do this, artists, we have what I call the keys to success, okay? And so these collectors have two very, very important things that you need if you want to sell art to anybody. So the first thing is these collectors have the willingness to buy art, all right? If you like brands like Sotheby's, Artsy, and Art Basel, I know you have the willingness to buy art. You like art, right? The second thing is just as important, and these collectors have the ability to buy art. So when we put that financial layering on and we're showing our art to collectors that have money, this type of access changes everything of Fluent Artists, okay? And so artists all over the world are using this, okay? Definitely over the country, but all over the world. And so Nisha Kapoor, she's Indian. She said, Shares, your system rocks. I got another celeb lead as a result of my ads, and we spoke on the phone, and the person is willing to buy. And so she was the first artist to sell paintings in Indian rupees, okay? So she's transacting in Indian rupees. Miss Valerie, she's a senior. She's a grandmother. She sold $3,250 from her ads, all right? If she can do it, you can absolutely do it no matter how young or how old you think you are, okay? And then Christy, type yes in the chat. If you like to get like Christy, she spent $45 on ads. and she made $1,400 in a day and a half. She said, I got over 800 likes, 200 comments, 100 shares, about 300 messages. I got 14 sales and about 10 possibles. So in a day and a half, $45, 14 hours work, I pulled $1,400. Just type yes in the chat if you like to accomplish results like these. And then one of my favorite stories, my man Joe Woods, he said, and this happened last night, sold. All right, type yes in the chat if you want to wake up to a $2,000 or more sale like my guy Joe, because his ads were running in the background 24/7. All right, put sleep money in the chat if you want to wake up to sales because you made money overnight while your ads were running 24/7 in the background. Okay, this is the power that you have when you begin advertising to high income collectors. And so now I've shown you how to find wealthy, ready to buy collectors with AI and Instagram ads. As an affluent artist, can you see yourself using this secret to get high paying collectors? Just type yes in the chat if you can see yourself using this secret to get these high income collectors. Just type yes in the chat, because so far you discover how to create your art story to raise your prices. All right. You discover how artwork makes it easy to share your art via text, email, or social. You discover how to sell art to a worldwide collectors marketplace. You discover how you learn how to get collectors to buy your art with one click, like they're buying on Amazon. And you discover how to use that financial layering to target these high income collectors. Okay. And so knowing what you know now, do you feel more confident pricing your art? Just type yes if you feel more confident using that art story to price your art and maybe set some of your own sales records. All right. And then, are you happy you attended this class today? Type yes in the chat. We do this live, man. I absolutely love doing this live. Type yes if you're happy you attended this class today. And do you realize the advantage you have as an artist using these techniques over other artists that are not here getting this wisdom? I just type yes in the chat. And can you see yourself using this to sell more art? That's the most important thing. Belief that you can do it, okay? And then type yes if you can see yourself getting new collectors with this. I see the yeses coming through. I see the yeses coming through. All right. And so, artists, you got two choices now. Choice number one, you can do what you always do. But again, if you do this, you'll very likely get the same results. All right. But choice number two, you can sell your art with us, get some handheld mentorship, and get 10 or more new collectors every single month. Okay. That's our promise. We help you get an automated collector system. All right. And so, would this transform your life? If you follow what I showed you in secret number one and use any art story so your art sells itself on Instagram, and then you did what I revealed in secret number two, so you can use the artwork app to easily sell more of your art. And then you use secret number three to get access to the same high-paying collectors on Instagram that the rich auction houses and galleries attract. Do you think you could be successful? Type yes in the chat if you think you could be successful. And type yes in the chat if you would like to know how I can help you. All right. What if I helped you? Just type yes in the chat. I see the yeses coming through. All right. I would love to absolutely help you. So I want to introduce you to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. It is a fun and easy 5-step system for visual artists to raise prices and get 10 or more new collectors every month online. Okay. And so part number one is the actual Affluent Artist Masterclass. And so it's very, very simple to follow. So step number one is mindset. This is where we teach you our millionaire mindset so you can get rid of any starving artist broke mentalities and habits. Step number two is price. This is where we teach you that luxury pricing method so you can apply the art story to start setting your sales records. Step number three is sold. This is where we teach you our cash collectors framework so you can start making sales quickly before you spend any money on ads. And then step number four is collectors. And so this is where we show you how to create a collector community so you build long-term relationships with your collectors so they continue to buy from you. And then step number five is marketing. All right, this is where we use that financial layering and AI and Instagram ads to start to target collectors with that high income, okay? And so here's my guy, Christian Lamar. And so I just want to share a little bit of his testimony about how he was really thinking about giving up on his art career, but then he became an affluent artist, and that literally changed everything.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? It's Christian Lamar here, and I'm a portrait artist from VA. Now I just want to tell y'all why I joined the Affluent Artist Masterclass. I went to a great art school and learned from some phenomenal artists, but they never taught me how to sell my work. So after I graduated, I struggled to the point of almost wanting to give up on my dream of being a professional artist. Well, this course changed all of that. It showed me how to turn my art into a business, and most importantly, how to sell online. So now I can sell to anyone, anywhere. And the results are super quick. I made my first sale within 30 hours of starting the program and made just under 1,500 within the first 5 days. And now that I'm in week 4, I've made just over 4,000. And it's super easy to follow. Like, if you're like me and you're ready to fulfill your dreams of being a professional artist, give the program a shot. And you also get to join a community of artists that share their experiences every day of what works. So join me and the family in becoming a fluent artist today. All right. Peace.
Shout out to my guy, Christian Lamar, man. Absolutely transformed his life. All right. And so, artists, this works for you if you are a painter, sculptor, if you do acrylic pours, jewelry, photography, mixed media, digital art, drawings, ceramics, collage, furniture, clothes, murals, metalworks, wearable art. It works for all affluent artists at all price points. All right. And so, like Miss Joy right here, she got this $4,000 sale in Canada for this Happy Trails mural. And I love when artists, if they sell in cash, we always take pictures of the cash and show receipts of the art, because we always tell the truth about making sales. Okay. Nothing cool about lying about making money. And so you can see this cash on the table right there. Okay. And then, artists, this works even if your art isn't ready. And so again, Jasmine was still working on the original Chadwick Boseman piece, but she actually pre-sold a print before the original was done. Okay. And so again, one of the things I hear artists say, oh, I got to have, more portfolio. I got to create a bigger body of work before I start selling. That's not true at all. You can actually pre-sell your art before it's done and still make money, and then use that money to invest into your art business and however you got to do it, buy your supplies, pay yourself, whatever you got to do, right? And so again, when you join the Affluent Artist Masterclass, that's a total value of over $5,000, all right? And then part number 2 is we're going to give you an artwork gold account. And so I want you to imagine collectors buying art from anywhere around the world. And so type yes in the chat if you want to sell a piece on artwork for $2,700 or more, like Jen sold Emergence in Power. She said, I'm so happy and grateful to have sold this piece. I'm going to supersize my fries tonight, all right? And I love when the collectors get their kids involved, collecting at an early age. Man, this collector's parents got him this Spider-Man piece. Miss Yvonne sold that. He actually kind of looks like the Spider-Man, man. It's a really cool piece right there. And so when you get your artwork account, Affluent Artist, you'll be able to accept payments up to $1 shy of $1 million. You'll be able to easily sell art anywhere, in person or online. You'll be able to track your art, your sales, and your collector's information in one place. Collectors can buy your art with one click, like they're buying books on Amazon. And collectors can track their net worth in your art so they can see your value grow as an artist, okay? And then also, you're going to be able to save a lot of money by getting rid of your website fees. So if you're paying for a website right now that's not getting you any collectors, feel free to get rid of it and save that money. If you want to keep it, you can keep it too, but you can also save on the cost. Using tools like Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, again, you can save on those fees as well, because at certain levels, collectors don't want to do business with you. Tools like Artsy, Etsy, Art Storefronts, you can get rid of these fees. Shopify, Artwork Archive, Fine Art America. And the most important is that lost time trying to figure it out on your own, because you'll be with a community of artists and mentors that's showing you how to sell successfully, okay? And so again, I'm an artist as well. And so when I first started, I didn't know how to manage my art sales all in one place. I definitely didn't really know how to track how much my collectors were spending. And I also didn't have a global marketplace where collectors could buy with one click. So I had to create artwork for myself. And so this is going to save you time and money, because over 6 years ago, I had to spend over $60,000 in 3 years to figure out how to create an app to solve this problem, okay? So I don't want you recreating the wheel. So I'm going to give you an artwork gold account with this package so you can skip the cost, the trial, and the error. All right, cool? Just type cool in the chat if that's cool, all right? And so again, man, artists are making sales quick. Tierra, she uploaded some art, and in a few days, she got a notification that her piece sold. She said she was in shock at how quick the sale happened. Thank you, Sharest, for perfecting the app. It definitely is a game changer for us as artists, all right? And if you think you're not tech savvy, that's not a problem either. It is really simple and easy to use. It's designed so a child can pick it up and use it, okay? You see how simple and easy the design is, all right? And so again, when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. we're going to give you the Artwork Gold account, and that's a total value of $6,200. All right. And then part 3 is the Affluent Artist Community. You're going to be able to become a member of an online community of artists that are, we love serving and we want to help you succeed. Okay. And so when you join today, you get access to our private Affluent Artist School community. And so this gives you the knowledge, the community, the encouragement, and the motivation you need to succeed in your art career. And so you can access the program and the community anytime from anywhere in the world, and you get unlimited support. All right. So we give you 24/7 school group support and live weekly sales sessions to make sure you get all of your questions answered. Okay. And so Miss Jovan, she had her daughter San Yu join when she was 9. Man, and this is one of the things I love most about the community. We got young artists in here and they're selling art. You see San Yu got her cash there. That's me when I got to meet them when they came to Atlanta. And we also have seniors. So Miss Phyllis, she was 73 when she joined, and she sold a piece when she sold 2 pieces in her first week. All right. And so if a 9-year-old can come in and sell and a 73-year-old grandmother can come in and sell, you can absolutely sell. Okay. And so I want you to just imagine being in a community of artists that help you 24/7, and they just share their wisdom of what's working to help them sell art. So like Sean did right here, he said, lesson learned, follow up every time. You never know why somebody ghosts you. I thought maybe my price was too high for her and she was gone for good. Don't make up your own stories as to why they didn't call back. Just follow up and be polite. That's a powerful tip right there. Okay. And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You'll get access to the Artwork Gold account, and you'll be able to become a member of the Affluent Artist Community. And that's a $7,400 value. All right. And we got some powerful bonuses for artists that get started tonight while we live. All right. Bonus number 1 is that luxury pricing method. And so if you're tired of putting time and skill into your art, only for buyers to continue lowballing you and not respecting the true value of your art, man, Christy, she used this luxury pricing method. She was a single mom. She watched the same class that you're on right now. She ended up making $1,350 in the first 5 days. And you know it's serious when people say, holy smokes. So she said, holy smokes, I reached out to an old friend and supporter of my art and landed a $1,000 mural job. The system works. I was thinking of asking $800, was hoping for $600, but I boldly asked $1,000 and she didn't hesitate. This blew Christy's mind. She said, holy smokes. And then Jen, she put the crying emojis when she sold Breakthrough 2 for $5,840 right here. All right. And then Brisha Jones, we showed you how she used her art story on Fearless Expanded to break her record at the time, which was $6,209 for this beautiful abstract. All right. And so imagine your confidence skyrocketing because your art story has collectors emotionally invested in buying your art at any price. And so this is your new reality when you become an affluent artist. And so when you join today, you're going to be able to get the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get access to the Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist Community, and you're going to get that luxury pricing method bonus. And that's an $8,400 value. Okay. Bonus number 2 is we give you our automated collector system. And so this is essentially a pre-built website, email, and text message automation tools to help you get collectors 24/7. All right. And so we give you the pre-built funnel. All you got to do is add your pictures of your art, your videos, and your words. And then boom, you can be live sending collectors to this, and they'll be buying your art and really coming to you, asking you about buying your art. It is a powerful, powerful system, an automated collector system. And so this is what Christy used when she spent $45 on ads, and she made over $1,400 in just a day and a half, right? 300 messages, 800 likes, 200 comments. Man, it is a powerful, powerful system. And it is absolutely printing money for artists, okay? And so I know from firsthand experience, many artists suffer from feast or famine income where you sell art some months and some months you don't sell much at all, right? So I spent years investing time and money testing which art ads and sales pages work best to turn clicks to collectors so you can have collectors coming to you 24/7, okay? And so when we get an endless flow of new interested collector leads joining your email list and buying your art 24/7, this gives you predictable cash to grow your art brand and collector community while sales come in at the same time. And so if you already have a website that's not selling how you like, feel free to keep it or you can get rid of it, all right? You can use ours to get new collectors coming to buy your art every day like clockwork. And so again, when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get that Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist Community. You're going to get that luxury pricing method bonus, and we're going to give you that pre-built automated collector system. So you got a fully functioning website ready to get collectors, okay? And then bonus number 3, you're going to be able to hop on with me to find your high income collectors on Instagram, okay? And so I know many artists struggle to get exposure to collectors that can afford their art at the price you think it's worth. And so I spent over $250,000 of my own money on Instagram ads, figuring out the best ways to target buyers that have money. And so you get instant access to what's working right now with Instagram ads and AI. All right. And so I showed you how we can go to that detailed targeting section, add that financial layer, and it's going to show us the top 5% of income earners, top 10%, and the top 10 to 50% of income earners. Okay. And so you'll be able to get exposed to collectors with disposable cash. You'll be able to leverage AI to target the best collectors for your style. And you're going to be able to predictably get new collectors 24/7 with ads. And so when you start targeting collectors that with money, you can get like Jen. She said another deposit for a commission of $4,369 commission. I threw out a random number and they said, can they pay it in 3? Jasmine, to quit her job, she needed to make $5,000 for the month. She ended up making $5,527 in the first week, okay? This is the power of this information. Isha, she sold a piece, this custom commission, for $10,000. Type yes in the chat if you want to start selling commissions to high-income collectors for $10,000 or more. All right, type yes in the chat. And so this is what's possible, okay? So when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get that Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community. You're going to get some powerful bonuses as well. That luxury pricing method, the automated collector system, and you'll be able to find your collectors with me, okay? That's a total value of over $10,600. Now, artists, if all this did was help your art tell stories so your artwork truly sold itself, let me know how that will help your art career, all right? Type it in the chat. Let me know how that will help you. If all this did was help you easily sell your art online in any economy, like how would that help your career? All right, let me know. And if all this did was help you get an infinite amount of high-paying collectors following you and buying your artwork, let me know in the chat how that will help your art career, okay? And so putting this program together, I had 2 choices. The first option was we could try to go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible, but that wouldn't really incentivize me to stack the value, okay? And so the second option required a little higher investment, but in exchange, we can devote more resources to guarantee your success, okay? And so you got to ask yourself, like, what are your dreams worth to you? If you were making money every day because you were successfully selling your art to collectors on Instagram, what would that be worth to you? Type that in the chat. How much would you pay to have one automated collector system sell your art online 24/7? All right. And so you can see why artists have paid $10,000 for similar results for me, because it's not a cost when you do business with us. It is an investment that produces a return. Okay. And so you see why it's worth over 10K. Even at the $5,000 general public price, it's still a great deal. I've shown you several artists that have sold art for over $5,000. Okay. But because you watch this masterclass live and I want to help as many artists as possible, I'm going to give you a very special offer. Okay. And so when you go to affluentartist.com, you won't have to invest anywhere near 5K. All right. That's the normal price. If we're going to give a deal, oftentimes we'll do a 30% discount. All right. You won't have to invest anywhere near that today. When you go to affluentartist.com, you're going to get our special 94% off for only $9.99. All right. When you go to affluentartist.com. And we also have financing partners with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna. And so you can get started for as little as $47.96 per month when you join at affluentartist.com. All right, if you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. Again, if you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. Again, when you go to affluentartist.com, we have financing partnerships. You can buy now and pay later with Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna. All right. So if you use Klarna, they got 24 payments where you can get started for as low as $47.96. And then Afterpay and Affirm has some more payment option as well. Okay. And you can pay it as fast or as slow as you want. They have very, very small interest, man. It's a great, great program for you can get started for less than $50 when you go to affluentartist.com. All right. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. 49. All right. So artists are making sales with this every day. Here's my guy, Dwayne, Sean with a $600 sale. Miss Valerie is over 50 when she joined. Just like Miss Phyllis, they made sales in their first week. And then some artists, they choose to come to the $1 Million Artist Mastermind like Jasmine and Demetria here, okay? And this is a $25,000 investment, all right? If you want to come to Atlanta several times a year to meet in person with the other affluent artists, this is the investment to get this level of hand-holding. So Jasmine said she was at a loss for words when she came. Demetria said the past few days were one for the books. This experience motivated me to really present the best version of myself, right? And so, but you can join online today for a fraction of that, and you can get started with financing with Klarna, Affirm, or Afterpay when you go to affluentartist.com, okay? And again, that power of that one-on-one personal touch that we give you online, Jasmine, she sold $5,527 in the first week after she had this experience. And her goal was to sell $5K for the month, okay? And so you can get access to this type of wisdom and encouragement when you go to affluentartist.com, okay? And so if you were to hire an online marketing professional or go back to art school or attempt to get a dealer to sell your work to collectors for you, it might cost you over $25,000, 50% of your profits, or years of your life trying to figure this out, okay? And so even if you finance it, that's only $1.60 per day to start selling your art online. That's literally like a breakfast sandwich at McDonald's, all right? So you can get access to that when you go to affluentartist.com. And so artists, right now, you've got two choices. Again, choice number one, you can do it on your own, all right? You can take this information or you can continue to do what you've been doing. Now, if you do this, you will get the same results. If you use our methods, you can start to get some sales. But again, I don't know how you're going to operate without the community, the bonuses, and the automated collector system. And so choice number two is you can get our handheld mentorship and get the system to get 10 or more new collectors every single month when you go to affluentartist.com, all right? And we're so confident in our ability to help you sell art that we are backing it with a 110% money back guarantee, okay? And so if you sign up now, if Affluent Artist does not help you sell more art and get more collectors, you'll have two options. Option number one, you follow the steps, decide it's not for you, and win 110% of your money back, all right? Option number two, you will grow in Affluent Artist, and we will personally help you get 10 or more new collectors every single month when you join at affluentartist.com, all right? Now, why do we do this? We do it for a very selfish reason, and that's because I know it's a win-win. This makes it a no-brainer for you to join, and I know we can help you succeed, all right? And so when you sign up, I know for a fact one of these two things will happen. You will get 10 or more new collectors every month, or you'll win $1,100 from us just for trying it out when you go to affluentartist.com and enroll, okay? Now, there are a few qualifications to win the 110% money back guarantee. So first, you got to earn 100% completion by watching the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You want to make sure you actually go through all of the information, okay? Second, you want to take action on the Affluent Artist Masterclass. All right, there are action items at the end of every assignment. We also want you to attend the live sales sessions every week so we can answer your questions to help you get support so you're not stuck, okay? And then the most important thing is use the information to sell your art. We want you to make money and get sales, all right? And then after you start getting sales, share your results being an affluent artist on social media, all right? That's all you got to do. And so again, artists, when you join today at affluentartist.com, your profit is guaranteed. Option number one, you'll follow the steps. You can decide it's not for you for whatever reason, and you can win your money back, okay? Option number two, you decide, Sharess, no, I really want to grow in my affluent artist journey, and I want your team's help in getting 10 or more new collectors every single month. We can help you do that when you go to affluentartist.com, okay? If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. And so the real question you got to ask yourself, artists, is this worth taking a few minutes to check this out? Even if it does half of what I say today, it will pay for itself as soon as you sell one painting for $1,000, all right? So you're just one collector away from that new reality when you join at affluentartist.com, all right? You're one collector away from collectors with just really changing your life with this system, all right? And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get the Artwork Gold account. You'll be able to become a member of the Affluent Artist community. You're going to get the luxury pricing method bonus, that automated collector system bonus, and you'll be able to find your collectors with me, so you can get access to those high income collectors. All right, that's a total value of over $10,600. All right, now you might be looking at this intentionally blank slide right here because this is an editing marker, and so I put this here to make note of when I make this very special offer. All right, now because you're on live, I'm going to give you a very special offer that we're going to edit and cut out of the replay. All right, because you're on live, we're going to give you a free lifetime artwork gold account. That's a $1,200 a year value only for the join live. All right, so this is normally $99 forever. It's going to be free for you forever. You'll be able to upload unlimited art. You'll be able to access collectors globally, and many artists sell in the first 7 days. Again, you're just one collector away from transforming your life. And this is only for the artists that buy live, okay? When you go to affluentartist.com, and remember, you can use financing with the Affirm, Klarna, and Afterpay, okay? Highly, highly recommend using those tools when you go to affluentartist.com as well, okay? And so get started now, artists. When you join at affluentartist.com, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get access to the Artwork Gold account. You'll become a member of the Affluent Artist community. You're going to get that luxury pricing method, the automated collector system, and you'll be able to find your collectors with me at some powerful fast action bonuses. All right. That's a total value of over $10,600, but you can join today for a special 94% off on only $9.99. All right. And if you use Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna, they start at only $47.96 per month. All right. So you can get it financed for a very affordable payment to get full access to everything when you go to affluentartist.com. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549, and our team will reach out to you to help you get enrolled, okay? And so artists are using this to make sales every day. Here's my guy, Blue Robin, with a sale. Diana said happy Friday when she get paid. Dwayne with another sale. Santana with a sale. Mr. Bill with a sale. And so at this point, I see some of you are signing up, and that makes me happy, man. I'm really excited to have you all in the program. All right. Now, some of you are still here, and so I could tell you're getting ready to sign up, but you probably have a question that you need answered first before making that decision. All right. If you got a question, please type it in the chat so I can help you out and answer your question. All right. But I want to address some frequently asked questions in the time that we have left. Okay. So some artists want to know, what if I already have a website? So if you are making sales on your website, you can send all of your collectors to Artwork and use our automated collector system so you can eliminate hosting costs and those monthly fees. All right. Do collectors need an Artwork account? So collectors can buy as a guest, but we encourage them to get an Artwork account so they can actually track their art collection. How do I afford the investment? Listen, that's a great question. Many artists use the information that they have on this class to start selling their art. So for example, Jasmine pre-sold the Chadwick Boseman print before the original was done. All right. So all you got to do is use the art story. We taught you the art story on here for free. Start posting using your story. You can get ChatGPT AI to help you create the story to make that fast and easy for you. And you can start pre-selling to get access to the program. All right. And we also have financing available as well. That's very affordable when you go to affluentartist.com and use Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna. Okay. So my question is that I'm on limited income, so I do not know could finance the investment at this point in time. Hey, I understand. So use what you can to pre-sell it. If you use the Klarna, it's less than $48 a month, which is a really affordable investment. But if you need to, start pre-selling your art so you can get the cash that you need. Okay. Next, how do I make the time? So Brisha Jones, she wanted to know how she makes the time. She was a single mom, but she used this next thing I'm going to describe to you to actually sell this commission for $2,572. Okay. And so that is simply called creating a success block. All right. And so a success block is simply waking up an hour, 2 or more earlier than you normally do in the morning to focus on your art business. Okay. Now, this is powerful because when you wake up early in the morning and you give the most refreshed version of yourself to your dreams and your goals, it's much easier for you to start to be successful. Okay. Contrast that with how most people do it. We wake up, We take care of our family, our friends. You go to your job, your coworkers, your bosses. You handling all of their business. And then when you get home, you giving like the most tired, worn down, depleted version of yourself to your dreams, okay? And that can make it very difficult to succeed. And so you create that morning success block, man, you're going to really start to see your wins and your sales compound, okay? Some artists want to know, can I do this from anywhere in the world? So yes, as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection, you can do this from anywhere in the world. So Miss Joy is up in Canada. You see she got that $4,000 Canadian cash on the table. I'm in America. You can do this from anywhere in the world. We have artists in different countries. Some artists want to know, what if I'm just getting started? So listen, that's a great question. And I think just getting started is one of the best places you can be. Why? Because you don't have any bad habits to unlearn. And we can just give you a great foundation so you can start doing things correctly the first time, right? And one of my favorite stories is how when Tiara, she joined and became an affluent artist, she started selling her art, and her sons were really inspired by her journey. And so she started taking them through the program at ages 2, 5, and 7 years old. And so she taught them how to make a profit, creating a mission, buying supplies, setting goals. And so they set a goal to make $250, but with the support of their family and friends, they made over $500, man. So it's really, really dope. They got the kids involved and they're just getting started. And so if they can start selling art at the ages of 2, 5, and 7 years old, you can absolutely do it too when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right, some artists want to know, is this process too hard or too technical? Listen, absolutely not. Miss Valerie was 68 when she joined, and she sold over $10,000 in the first 4 months, all right? If a 68-year-old grandmother can do it, you absolutely can do it as well. And so if you are thinking about getting into this, I just want to leave you with some things, man. You got more questions, post it in the chat. But one of the biggest things you can do is you got to get the resources or be resourceful, okay? We don't want to let resources stand in our way of something that's going to unlock our next level in our business. And so when Miss Stacy was watching this class that you're on right now, she was having some financial troubles as well, but she was resourceful and got the resources. And she was so excited when she made her first sale. She said, yes, it works. Made my call to a friend that said she wanted these paintings when they are done. I called her and told them they are done. She could buy one for $250 or 3 for $600. She took all 3 and she paid with a check. All right. And so you can get access to this same system that helped Miss Stacy start selling art quickly at affluentartist.com. Some artists want to know, is there too much competition? So listen, man, absolutely not. It's the way I think about it. I'm an artist, but I'm also a collector. And if you were to look around, man, I have art from all different type of artists all around where I can see right now. All right. And so if you know anything about real collectors, man, we love buying art from all different type of artists with different styles. All right. So there's more abundance and there's enough for all of us to win. Some other artists want to know, what is the artwork commission? So it's only 10%. And the most important thing is you get to keep all of your collectors' data. So sometimes when you do business with galleries and dealers, they'll take 30 to 50% cut. And they often do not give you the collector's data, okay? And that collector's information, their phone number, email, address, that's the most important data because that's the relationship that helps you make lifelong sales. And it's also going to allow you to continue to get them to buy from you, okay? So you want to make sure you get that data. Some artists want to know, what budget do I need for ads? So you can get in the game with as little as $5 a day, all right, just to get in the game. You saw Christy made a sale by spending $7.63. You can get in the game for as little as $5 per day. Now, as your ads start bringing in collector leads and you start getting sales, you do want to increase that budget because the more money you spend, the more money you make, okay? Now, we know artists, man, being a full-time artist absolutely beats working a 9 to 5, man. When you start getting commissions for thousands of dollars like Mia right here, working on these beautiful inspired pieces for a 2-year-old bedroom, and you start getting them $1,000 down payments, man, it is absolutely better than working a 9 to 5. And one of the coolest things about this, you start to see the importance of that community support helping you create successful habits, right? And so some of the things I hear artists say all the time is like, yo, man, I was so inspired by what these other artists were doing, and they're sharing their stories and they're getting their wins and they sell. And it's like, if they can do it, I know I can do it, right? And so it becomes a really friendly competition when you're surrounded by winners that want you to win as well. And so if you have been online searching for solutions, if you've been watching YouTube videos, looking at Instagram, going on Google, buying books, just watching videos on YouTube. Listen, you know, information alone is not enough. You need mentorship. You need guidance. You need a step-by-step system. You need pre-built tools and technology to make it easy for you. And so if you want to start getting booked and busy like Toya, go to affluentartist.com and enroll right now. All right. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. All right. As we close out, if you got another question, type your question in the chat. But you really got to ask yourself, like, do you want money or excuses? Okay. And so, like, you got to choose one. We can't have both. And so my guy, John Tay, said he wanted money. And so he figured out how to get the investment to join the program. Next thing he know, he's selling $2,000 lamb pieces. All right. And so you can get access to the same system and technology he used when you go to affluentartist.com. And again, make sure you use that financing and you can get started for less than $1.60 per day. Okay. And so again, as we close out, man, I want to really start to think about some things in a different way and really identify the true cost of inaction. All right. And so if you're listening right now and you're still on and you're trying to figure out how can you join or what will it take to join, just think about it like this. Like, what if this helped you start selling just one piece per week? Like, would that be worth $1.60 per day on the finance plan? Right? Of course it would be. Okay. I don't even know your price point, but if you can just start to consistently and predictably sell a piece a week, that could transform your life. Okay. But then what is the true cost of inaction? Right? If you wait another week or a month or 2 months or 3 months or 6 months or 9 months to the end of 2026 and you still haven't invested into yourself and your dream, like, you got to ask yourself, like, it's really worth missing months of art sales because you're trying to save $1.60 per day. Okay. Because every day, every week, every month that you don't take action, man, that is revenue that you miss. That's lost revenue that you cannot recover for that year. Okay. And so if you follow one of the steps I shared on today's event, you can make a profit in the first week when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right. Another way to get the investment is to ask your family and friends to be your investors. Okay. This is a really good way to get started in the program. A lot of artists do it, especially when you got a plan and you can show them what they're going to be helping you accomplish. Okay. And so you got a step-by-step plan. You got a community. You got the technology to do it as well. And so Miss Valerie, she got a sale quick. So she posted it and got a sale in 3 hours. Miss Kelly got a sale the first week in the program. And then we also, again, we got some other financing options. So you can have PayPal invest into you as well if you go to paypal.com/credit to apply. And so they have no payments and no interest if you pay it in full in 6 months on purchase of $99 or more. You got to pay this in full. And so, again, you can go to apply at paypal.com/credit to see if you get approved. Okay. And so you can join, have them make the investment for you, start selling art, pay it back, no interest in 6 months. Okay. And then we also have the buy now, pay later option with our finance partners, Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna. Okay. And so when you go to affluentartist.com, I'm going to show you how to check out here in a second. If you choose Klarna, they have 24 payments of $47.96, which is one of the most affordable plans. And you can also get started with Afterpay and Affirm. Okay. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. But everybody can get started with the buy now, pay later option for less than $48 per month. All right. So Affluent Artists, the time is now, man. We're excited to have you in the program. Man, if you want to get like Miss Raquel West here, she said, after connecting with Sherez and noting and actively implementing the wisdom that I learned without negotiation or hesitation, this collector purchased this piece at my $1,200 asking price. I am beyond grateful for the knowledge and the quick turnaround. All right. And so if you're ready for knowledge that give you quick sales, quick turnaround, if that's your goal, man, go to affluentartist.com and enroll right now. All right. You can finance it and you can get started for less than $48 per month. All right. And so let's accomplish your dreams together, Affluent Artists. Listen, as a fellow artist, I know your struggle with selling art is real. But when that's gone for your life, just imagine, like, how will you feel? How much better will your life be? Right? Just think about how light it is. Okay. Like, how much stress does working a job and never having enough money cause in your mind and your body? All right. Because after you join, it's like gone. All right. It's like poof, like magic. Let me know if you can feel that difference. Okay. because it starts by going to the link below and joining at affluentartist.com. All right. And I'm going to walk you through the checkout process to show you exactly how to get enrolled. So let's get started right now. I'm going to come out and let me bring you to the checkout process. All right. So when you go to affluentartist.com, you're going to see it says, yes, Sherez, I'm in. You still have a few days to join and get in on this offer before the special price expires. Okay. And so we're going to recap the offer here, walk you through the 110% money back guarantee. All you got to do is put in your name, your email, your phone number, your address. And if you want a one-on-one call with our team, add that checkbox to your order. And you can put in your 16-digit card number, the expiration in a year, or the CVC, enter your country and the zip code. All right. If you want to use Klarna, just click Klarna. And again, if you pop up, learn more, it'll show you their payment options that they have. You can do 24 months financing, all the way down to paying it in full. Okay. Same thing with Afterpay. Same situation. Okay. And so it's awesome. It's quick and easy. They let you finance it. It's very, very affordable. All right. And after you do that, just click join now, and they'll walk you through the process. With a process your order if you use the card, and it'll walk you through the financing process if you use Affirm, Klarna, or Afterpay. Okay. So it's really simple and easy to get signed up. All right. So again, get started. If you got a question, type your question in the chat. If we don't have any other questions, man, we'll be closing out here pretty soon. All right. And so again, when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get access to that Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get some powerful bonuses for artists that get started tonight as well. Okay. So bonus number one, you get that luxury pricing method so you can raise your prices and charge your worth. Bonus number two, you're going to get that automated collector system, which is a system of pre-built website funnels, emails, and text message marketing automations to get collectors to continue coming to you 24/7. And then also you're going to be able to hop on and find your collectors with me. So we can show you how to use that financial layering to target some of the wealthiest collectors that are buying from big brands like Sotheby's, Art Basel, and Artsy. Okay. And so that's a total value of over $10,600. When you go to affluentartist.com, you can get our special 94% off for only $9.99 when you enroll today. All right. And we also got some powerful and affordable financing options with our partnership with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna. And so you can get started at only $47.96 per month when you use one of those options. All right. So a lot of artists use the financing. It's very affordable, easy. Most people get approved as well. And so you can go to sign up at affluentartist.com, choose one of those financial options at checkout, and go ahead and get enrolled. All right. If you need some help ordering, please text join to 470-777-7549. All right. I don't see any other questions. Man, we are live. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Peace and much love to everybody that joined. If you're still thinking about joining, type your questions in the chat. You can also text our team, join to 470-777-7549. Again, you have a little over 3 days to get this offer before it goes back to the regular price. So go to affluentartist.com. If you want to get started for less than $48 a month, again, you can choose one of our financing relationships with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna. All right. So again, go to affluentartist.com to enroll, and I'll see you on the inside. My name is Sherez, and we'll see y'all next time. All right. The team will reply to you shortly. All right.